coming out of the East County. Definitely seeing some holiday light today, but a couple of crashes caused some major congestion in this general area. Here's where it stands now. So the 15 heading northbound, there was a crash at the 52. It's been clear. You're still a little slow right at that connector, and also still trying to catch up between El Cajon Boulevard and Friars Road. Although starting to improve, speeds are now back up into the 30s and 40s. So we're getting there. We're making progress. 8 has cleared nicely on your approach to the 805 from an earlier crash. 805 heading northbound at Claremont Mesa Boulevard. There was a 2-car collision. That's been moved off the freeway. However, traffic is still stacked back to Balboa. 94 out of Lemon Grove moving along. 163 into downtown. No delays. The only thing I saw a little bit earlier in their way off the freeway, but traffic is stacked all the way back to Carroll Canyon Road in those southbound lanes. Now, if you're traveling on the 15 heading northbound, you are also impacted. A lot of looky-loos as they pass through, and you are slow all the way back to about University Avenue. Speeds are in the teens in both those north and southbound lanes. Expect major delays. Also causing the 8 to back up. The westbound lanes, you are slow from Spring Street all the way to the 15, and not to mention coming out of the East County from Los Coaches to about East Main Street, speeds are in the 20s there. 52 heading westbound is going to be busy from Fanita Drive. This will continue to Mass Boulevard. 94 westbound backed up to Kelton Road. If you're coming up and out of the South Bay, looking a little better. I think the 805 would be mostly clear if it wasn't for this backup on the 15, but you are still slow from about Bonita Road up to just past the 94. Then it's going to be smooth sailing for a little bit, and then you are solid from Balboa up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. 5 heading northbound L Street all the way up to Hawthorne Street. You're on the brakes, and then there's some on and off slowing between the 8 and the 52. 163 looks really good getting into downtown. If you're traveling in the North County, 5 heading southbound as early as Carlsbad all the way down through Encinitas, it is stop and go. There was a crash earlier southbound 5 at La Costa that has been cleared, but it didn't help the situation there at all. 7 to 8 still looks pretty good. 15 heading southbound starting to get busy around Poway Road, and that 56 heading westbound starting to look slow as you approach the 5. This traffic report is brought to you by Whitlow. Plan accordingly. Give yourself plenty of travel time. Let's start with coming out of the East County. 52 heading westbound, still very slow from Fanita Drive to Mass Boulevard. Also pretty busy from the 163. That heavy traffic will take you to the 5. 8 westbound, pretty much solid starting as early as Spring Street. You're not going to get any relief until you hit the coastline. 94 westbound, this looks a lot better. Excuse me. This is a little busy as you approach the 805, and it's going to carry for you into downtown. 805 heading northbound. It is stop and go from Bonita Road, which a crash just rolled in at the scene there. And it's going to continue all the way up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard with no relief in between there. So 5 heading northbound, same story. This is going to be from about L Street, and it's on and off all the way up to the 52. 163, a little busy getting into downtown. 5 heading southbound just south of Carlsbad. You're on the brakes down to Manchester. 56 heading westbound is tight between the 15 and the 5. 15 heading southbound Rancho Bernardo Road all the way down to Mercy Road. You are crawling along. Speeds are in the 20s to 30. 7 to 8 looks pretty good. It's a little busy in both directions right around Nordahl. Not too bad though. This traffic report is brought to you by Whitlow. Let's take a look out on the roads. It's been a pretty slow ride all morning and continues to be. Let's start with the congestion in the North County. 78 heading eastbound in Vista. You are on the brakes. That's going to continue to about Rancho Santa Fe Road. You'll get a little bit of relief, and then from Barham Drive to the 15, you are on the brakes again. Now, if you're traveling in those westbound lanes, pretty slow right around Nordahl. So actually much easier than eastbound. 15 heading southbound, crowded through Escondido. Also looks busy down around about the 56 down to Mercy. Volume starting to build through there. 56 heading westbound is very slow between the 15 and the 5. There's also a 2-car crash at Black Mountain Road. That's not helping matters either. 5 heading southbound. This is stop and go starting as early as Oceanside, and it's going to go all the way down to about Manchester Avenue. So very slow stretch there for you. Coming up and out of the South Bay, 805 heading northbound 8th Street all the way up to Governor Drive. It is crawling along. Speeds are in the 20s. 5 heading northbound as early as L Street. You're on the brakes up to about the 163, and volume also starting to build now between the 8 and 52. 8 out of the East County, Severn Drive to Lake Murray Boulevard. Speeds are in the 20s. You're slow as you approach the 805, and then again from about Hotel Circle to the 5. 52 westbound still very tight right out of Santee at that 125 connector. 94 westbound backed up to College. 163 slow getting into downtown. This traffic report is brought to you by Whitling. 5 heading northbound looks a little better. Still Telegraph Canyon Road up to the 15. It's solid. We're not seeing it quite reach up to the 8 as of right now. And then Balboa Avenue up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. You are crawling along. 5 heading northbound. About L Street, I would say now up to the 163 speeds are going to be in the 20s, and then it is completely jammed between the 8 and the 52. Speeds are in the teens there. 163 looks a little busy getting into downtown. If you're traveling in the North County, 5 heading southbound starting right around Carlsbad down to about Manchester Avenue, you are on the brakes. 15 southbound looks a little busy. Carmel Mountain Road down just south of Poway Road. 56 heading westbound, volume is starting to build between the 15 and the 5. Lastly, that 78 in both those east and westbound lanes pretty crowded between the 15 and about Twin Oaks Valley.